Do you guys like these mugs?
So yeah, obviously live trading. Yeah, Forex League swag.
Get you
So
one, guys.
obviously live trading sessions. The goal for all this, can't hear anything. Jerry, you should figure out your audio situation. If you guys can hear us, just drop in the chat. Also, drop in the chat if or drop in the chat what pairs you guys want to look at, so we get an idea as to the main ones that you guys are focusing on right now. So let's give you guys a second.
Okay.
Get into that chat, EU, and let's see what's going on. Also, throughout this session, if you guys have questions, if there's something a way that we're analyzing that you want to look at, feel free to, feel free to ask a question. Feel free to put into the chat what you guys want. I know yesterday somebody messaged me on Instagram a question while they were in the Zoom. And don't be doing that. If you don't know, there's a chat, there's a chat in here. You can get in there. You can get in there and ask questions, whatever. You guys are muted just so we can kind of sift through this, because there's a lot for us to go through right now. So yeah, like Nick said, we're about to update in this trade that was put out yesterday. USD CAD, we got CHF JPY out too. So we got a lot going on. So the whole purpose of these live trading sessions is for you guys to see how me and Nick prepare for the day. Just day to day, as a trader, you got to get on the charts. You got to update all your pairs. You got to hold yourself accountable. And the more work you put in, the more you'll get out, more output you'll have. So I feel like it's constantly a struggle as a trader to tell yourself, like, there's always work that you could realistically be doing. You could always be back testing, you could always be analyzing, you could always be reading up on stuff or researching whatever. And yeah, I think for me and Nick, this is just one thing that we've been doing. It's an hour we take out of our day, and it's helped us tremendously. And you don't necessarily got to spend 9 hours a day on this, but if you're consistent every day with one, a couple habits, then you'll be okay.
Yep, exactly.
All
right, so
let's
pairs coming in. Yep.
Yeah, let's take a look. So for all you guys that was in here yesterday, my monitor is still busted, so I got to operate on this tiny little screen. Yesterday, we actually dropped some gold fundamental analysis, so I'm just going to read through that. I saw somebody drop gold. So obviously for the premium signals members, or for the premium members, you guys are getting the signals chat analysis, and then a bonus is this fundamental analysis group. For all you guys that don't know about this, basically we just drop beginning of the week a market overview of everything's going on. We do drop some signals in here as well, like more position trades, but that's just kind of like bonus. And then every day we'll drop 2 pairs. We'll do like a more in-depth fundamental analysis. Like, I know you guys all see Forex Factory and all these different sites where you can, look at the news. But what does that all mean? So we're kind of breaking things down further for you on every pair throughout the week. For gold, let's take a look as to what was written here. Let me just minimize some of this stuff, move it up here. All right, so gold is probably one of the most famous safe havens. As you guys know, as USD gets weak, gold appreciates. This means that the price of gold is appreciating in times of uncertainty, just like the last couple of months. We can clearly see that when all stocks, currencies, and commodities are falling, only gold is pushing to the upside. One of the easiest ways to detect the sentiment of other traders is when you look at the price of gold. If it's pushing to the upside, that means more traders are looking to put their money in safe havens, and the risk-off sentiment is playing in the markets. However, if the price of gold is falling or moving in range-bound motion, this means that most of the traders are looking to invest in the stock market or into currencies like AUD, the NZD, New Zealand dollar, and so on. At the moment, the price of gold is pushing higher due to the demand for it caused by the coronavirus and the fear of a second wave or global crisis. If we take a look at gold, we can see that its price was appreciating way back when the trade war between China and US started. So this was a new analysis we just did on gold. If you guys pause the video on the replay, you can read through this analysis from yesterday. If you guys in the chat, you'll get new analyses today. that you guys can read through. And yeah, so basically gold in times of uncertainty, is going to continue to appreciate. I saw one target 3,000 on gold, which is crazy, but
Short term for us, we're going to get into some short term targets once we hop on over to the charts. But yeah, it's definitely been appreciating like crazy as other currencies are becoming more and more uncertain.
yep. So
this is
right
good.
now,
Good stuff.
we are, let's see, just real quick, we're having this sale. We got 5 spots left. If you guys are interested, at the end, you guys can message me. Full course membership, everything included, 40% off. So let's get started with Nick Sharon. He'll start with DXY. We'll go over what DXY is again for you guys that don't know.
Yep, I'm going to run through these pairs for this week as well as DXY, which is the main driving factor of the market lately because DXY is a US dollar index. So again, just a quick recap is the dollar. This shows dollar strength, which and the US dollar makes up for 80% of all trade. The market is primarily moved by the US dollar, right? So and the fact that we trade mostly majors, right? We're focusing on pairs like AUD, USD, USD, CHF. They're all going to be heavily impacted by the strength of the dollar. So how strong is the dollar now? What is it doing? And right now, after this huge manipulative swing, right, this whole giant push here was from dollar demand, dollar shortage. Everyone was trying to hold the dollar, and it just pushed price way, way, way too high, almost to a level of that's very uncomfortable for the rest of the world because if the dollar is too strong, it actually affects other currencies very negatively. So it fell back pretty swiftly after it got to that high. And now we're in an area that makes a lot more sense. The dollar is naturally strong, correct? But we don't want it to be too strong or too weak. We kind of want it at a stable level because it is, a safe haven. We want it to be stable. It is considered the reserve currency of the world. So stability is kind of, what this represents. And that's what we really want to see. And we're kind of seeing that now. It's just ranging between 101 and 98, the 98.5 area. And that's really good because we want to see that stability. We want to see that natural market structure, something that's got to be easier to analyze on other charts and potentially trade. So right now we're definitely bullish on the 4 hour still. Our next target is 101 for DXY. And then from this area, we're going to reanalyze, decide if it's going to either, come back down and play in this range a little more, or if we'll get an overvalued dollar again, probably due to some news. And maybe we'll see it pop out. But either way, we're ready for whatever happens. But this is definitely the key level to watch in the short term for the rest of this week, and even potentially into next week is this 101 area. So be aware. So right now we're just bullish on this 4 hour, and still a little bit more room to go. So we could see for the rest of the week a strong dollar, right? Okay, so that's DXY. I'm just going to show you guys the daily real quick. Right, I go ahead and mark all these sentiments here. So all the trends on all these time frames I mark for you guys, especially when I post my analysis. It just makes it super easy. You have more confidence and you're not really worrying about what the higher time frames are doing because you already did your top-down analysis. You've already labeled it. It just gives you an extra level of comfort when you're trading, something that makes it easier to see the market for what's actually happening. So very bullish. Again, this is definitely abnormal right here, this giant push like we just talked about. This was due to the dollar shortage, extreme dollar demand, and it pushed out the dollar way, way, way too high, right? Almost at this weekly around 103.5, which is absurd. So we're at a good level now. We're just going to watch. All right, let's keep moving. So with that in mind, right, we know the dollar is pretty steadily strong on the 4 hour. Let's go ahead and hop over to other pairs. Right now, AU has been kind of tricky. So normally if US dollar is appreciating, this pair would be falling, especially with this overall bearish sentiment. It's very bearish. We're expecting a bit of a reversal soon from this area, or potentially, higher at a higher resistance level. But, it is very, very bearish. We were expecting a bit of a break from this area, but it seems to just be hiking higher. It's got a little more in it. And it looks like this is going to make a break out of this little pattern here. Maybe we'll see some resistance around the 64 area, potentially even higher around a deeper fib, 88.6, or if it really remains bullish, we got to target much, much higher towards the 66,800 area. So right now, this was kind of a bust. I was expecting it to drop. This was looking like a really nice potential transition, but then we got a double bottom here. It's holding at the 200-year MA, showing more bullish signs than anything else. And it just didn't play out how we wanted it to. So from the current level, I'm going to mark up what potentially could happen. Let me just drag this over. Okay, so from this level, you know, if this is a fake out, right? If this is going to continue bearish, you know, it needs to show us some sort of fake out from this level or a wick of this weekly. Other than that, it's looking pretty bullish. So this is what I would look for if you want to, if our sentiment's going to change from bearish to bullish. So if it broke this weekly, then we would see that this 4-hour trend, this bearish trend here, is now transitioning to a bullish trend instead. So I would then go to here. I would change this to bullish, right? Right, if it were to break, and then I would look for targets here on a higher low opportunity. So significant close above, totally erasing this lower high, looking to form a higher low, as it would be the first step in this transition to the upside, right? So I want to look for potential long in this area after we see this break, and then we can target higher towards, you know, deeper fib levels and potentially towards the top of this 66,800, like I said. So let's go to the daily, see how it looks. Right, very, very bearish, and you just have this channel here, just this deep retrace. It's just pulling back pretty hard. We're at the 78.6, not really showing much reaction at the current level. Let me just get rid of these. So these, let me extend these fibs over. So yeah, we got to watch. We got to wait on this one, see what's really going to happen. This weekly is the key level. It's going to be the deciding level as to you know, where this pair is going. Is it going to reverse here? Is it going to continue higher? We'll see. We will see. AUD is definitely looking strong this whole week, though, and you know, potentially more strength coming out of this currency.
Yeah, this daily time frame is definitely bullish.
Right. Very. Right.
Daily time frame is definitely bullish.
I mean, if you zoom out, well, this retracement is bullish, is what I was saying. Like, if you look to the left here, like this is a huge fallout, right? Huge fallout. Look at the volume on these candles, guys. It didn't really form any structure. It stayed below these MAs. It just kept pushing. And then we saw, you know, this is the retracement, a pullback. It kind of gave us this flag, continued higher. Is giving us not a flag, more like a wedge rather than anything else. So from this area, it could play out, you know, either way. But we don't have enough confirmation. It's not like, if this was a level of more confluence, I'd be way more confident in a short position. But it's not. It's kind of just pushing, consolidating, and the volume is starting to pick up here as well. So, I mean, we're going to see what's going to happen. So, let's move on to AJ. AJ's looking pretty good. Similar to AU, again, it just keeps giving me these pushes, consolidation, push, consolidation, and we're at that consolidation phase again too. Again, the weekly is a major zone here around 70 flat. So right now, this is looking more long, just because of how it's reacting at this zone. So much like AU, it looks like it's breaking to the upside. Let me go ahead and put some trend lines on here just so we can get a better idea if this is a pattern or not. Doesn't quite look like it. It might be just a regular channel. Let's see.
Look at this.
Yeah, I'm just marking
it. Yeah, so AU's looking fairly strong right now.
Yeah, it is. AU is definitely looking strong as hell. So okay, so from this level, right, this is honestly looking like a flag, huge flag pull, flag. This is a continuation pattern. So for us to go long on this, I want to see this break, this level break, and then let me drag this over as well. This is actually, I'm doing a lot more on the chart for you guys, like marking levels this session, because I want you guys to understand how we're coming up with these trades and why. So this is a flag pattern. We know this on a higher time frame. Regardless that these are all super bearish, we're just going to stay with the most current price action, which is this formation right here, which is very bullish, right? 4 hours looking pretty bullish. I'm actually going to change this because this one is bullish. I don't know why that was labeled. So right now we're just riding out on this 4-hour trend, kind of figuring out what's going to happen, if it's going to play into the daily bearish trend or if this 4-hour trend is going to continue. So I want to see a break followed by a quick retest. First confirmed higher low on this, you know, formation, and then we can look for entries on, you know, bullish setups if we see a giant engulfing in this area. Plenty of exhaustion. These are just the things the confirmations that we want to see happening at this level. So that would be really nice to see. A break, pullback, higher low confirmation, target higher towards the weekly, or it kind of just flops and pushes down towards the lower end of this pattern formation. So let's say this is a failed flag, and then we could target back down into this range, potentially even lower, right down to here. So we're looking for something like that. Either this flag to actually play out, break, retest, and then you target the height of the pattern. So this actually could be a good amount of pips, at the very least, at least 100 and almost 140 pips higher. So that's just past the weekly. That would be a really great potential trade. Good risk to reward because you'd be protected by the support level. Or, then that would be the bullish option. That's if this bullish flag did play out, or it fails, and then we'll look for short opportunities as we're breaking major support. The conservative entry would actually be this here. Hold on, let me just mark this for you. Wait for a confirmation of this failed flag, and that price action is falling off to the downside. But again, right now AU is super strong. But this would be ideal. This would be the conservative entry, right? Significant break of support, tested against a lower high, falls back into this range, and then we can start targeting towards the major support levels, much lower. So this is a pretty big range, over 200 pips, or about 225 for this entire range. So this is actually looking pretty good. There could be a good setup later today or potentially earlier this week. So we'll see. And somebody said EU. We're going to keep moving along here. So EU actually played out very bearish. So kind of just continued the overall sentiment, right? We saw, when was it? It was yesterday. I was saying this consolidation was happening in here. We wanted to see a break of 1087.50 or 10.25, 1082.50. I'm sorry, we want to see that break, and it did. Here's that large conviction candle, significantly broke, consolidated a little bit. This was that retest where that wick was. Let's go ahead and drop to the 1 hour. All right, so this is that retest, break, retest, and then see how it crossed the MAs here as well. This is definitely a structure level on a lower time frame, on a 1 hour here. So look at this, 38.2. If you guys can see this, this was our entry, 38.2 rejection, very strong, clean transition. So we had the break, that's confirmation 1. Retest, confirmation 2, off of 38.2, right? That's a good sign. Then we start getting these bearish variations, and the MAs are there. So that's 3-4 confirmations. Definitely would have been a good potential trade. Probably a 30-minute entry, realistically. Yep, there's a nice evening star here, as you can see. Right, this is one of the patterns that we talk about in our course. Very easily identifiable. And let's just see what this kind of trade would look like. So let's say we entered on this evening star, right? We want to protect ourselves, maybe a 20-25 pip stop, and then we're going to target down towards the 61, about, let's call it 50, 60 pips. Where is this mark? 60, and then call this one 25. So this would have been a 2.4 risk reward. You can see it had hit, and we'd probably still be managing. Just for the sake of it, this would probably be where your new stop loss would be, just outside this. Right, see how it's forming structure here now? It's looking pretty good, guys. I know some of this may seem a little advanced to you guys, but I know most of you get it, and I'm just trying to offer as much as we possibly can during this one session. So this is actually going to be this level. I want to see this. There we go. So this is how it's forming structure now. Major push lower. Here's that retest. We could see another leg lower for this trade. So this would have been a really good potential trade. I still think it's got a lot in it. We could see it move all the way down to this monthly, especially if you're considering these higher time frames. And the sentiment's bearish. So, to stick with it, keep managing, look for these pullbacks to enter on, and then just target towards this slower monthly support. So this could be, let's just get rid of these fibs. Let's say you want to enter now, look for any type of pullback, get in on lower highs with plenty of confirmation, and don't be afraid to use those fibs. So my projection is definitely down to this monthly level around 10,700. So about another roughly almost 90 pips from the current level. So that's EU. Let's keep moving. I got EJ is looking very similar. Again, pretty much just like EU. Very bearish, most time frames. We can see it moving down to this monthly level, which is pretty much there already. But I remember telling you guys that this level here we were sitting on the daily because we wanted to see more, confirmation, more conviction, because this level was such a big support level. Look at all these wicks here, right? It was kind of, juking price out. The bears weren't really able to gain any traction. And every time it came down to this level, the bulls would just push it back up. So if we look to the right here, what had happened is price action was just kind of indecision. No real signals here. Another huge indecision candle from the bears. The bulls actually came into play here and pushed it up for one last time. The bulls weren't able to hold it, and then ultimately the bears came into play. But at this point, it was a little too low to get a really nice entry. So momentum's just kind of taking this one. But it does look like it's going to make its way down to this monthly around 115. It's forming an okay structure on lower time frames, but it's not anything that I would really want to trade right now. I mean, there might be this minor level in here, right, where price action, finally broke through and then retested multiple times. But again, this was not the most beautiful trade. It is.
Yeah, I mean, talk through kind of what you're looking for, because obviously you guys are watching this are seeing how we start on the higher time frames, and then we cycle through before even getting to the lower time frame. We're doing structure on the higher time frame. We're doing candlestick analysis on the higher time frame. We're trying to avoid the lower time frame where you get confused on the lower time frame. There's a lot more candles, a lot more data. When you get to that time frame, that's when you want to be really making your decisions for your entries, right? Based on the way that we're trading. I would say that we trade intraday, but we try to turn them or hold them into swing trades. We just try to hold our winners. That's what everyone talks about. It's all about holding your winners. So our strategy is really just all around that, trying to catch the overall trend and try to get in on good moves on the lower time frames and like good spots.
Absolutely. So this is kind of like a pattern. It's looking like a bit of a triangle. The only reason I wouldn't have probably taken this trade is just because of all this indecision around this level. This area to the left that I showed you guys with all these wicks, that just had me kind of spooked because it was just so much volume coming out of that area. It just presented an extra level of risk for me. However, you could have dropped to 1% or 0.5% even for this trade if you did want to enter. But the best the highest probability trade would have been after this broken support tested as resistance, and then you're just trying to look for shorts based on this resistance level, right? Especially as you're getting these lower highs, you just want to look for shorts based on that. I mean, I don't really see a key entry. Maybe over here as this transition was happening, final transition, but it's still not as clear cut as I would like it to be. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with sitting by and not taking a trade. It's actually one of the biggest parts of trading is knowing when not to take a trade, right? So, I mean, basically, you could have probably squeezed a lower time frame trade out of this. Right here's that 38.2 hit again. We just saw. Let's go to the 30-minute. All right, so we fib from there to here. Okay, all right, so if you guys are watching, this is that lower time frame, 30-minute transition. This was 30-minute support right here. I'm going to go ahead and mark this as blue. We saw a break. It broke, right, established a new low, came back up for a retrace, right at the broken support, turn resistance, as well as the 38.2. And look what else is here, the 200 EMA, right? So this is a key level, and then boom, your entry would have been on this evening star here, right? So let's take a look at what this would have looked like. Boom, that's your entry there. We want to protect ourselves, put it up pretty high, 30, 35 pips. Let's call it 35. 35 pips. And then I would have targeted at the very least the 61.8, but I'm going to target even lower towards this monthly just because I'm going to be playing into that higher time frame. That's how I would choose this target for this trade, and it would be a pretty good risk reward. Just over 3.0, 3.15, and we're still managing this trade, right? So I would probably put my stop loss outside of this level here, outside the 1600 level, for sure. Let me go ahead and just mark this real quick for you guys. Oop. All right, so my stop loss would be above this level here, right? Which is the next, significant level of resistance for this trade on the 30-minute. So that's what my stop loss would be. And this would be a risk-free trade. We'd have locked in plenty of profit, great risk reward, only 35 pip stop loss. And yeah, this would have been a pretty good trade.
So yeah,
Yeah.
obviously at the moment there's no positions on this,
Nothing.
for today. So for
Right.
today, I mean, I would just move this down the watch list.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
but this is a good, good idea of a trade, of a entry example, of what he would do. So,
Yep.
definitely take note of where we're putting the projections and everything like that. But as we're at this low, there's really nothing doing on that right now.
No, there's not. You can't do anything. I mean, you could hope for a retrace. Like, let's go back to that for a second. You could hope for a retrace. Like a potential entry could be this here, but it's very unlikely because this is about 80 pips and 60 pips in profit. So if you were, oops, wrong curve tool, you would be looking to get, in on something like this. Let's get rid of these fibs for a second. Let's do. This is a minor level of resistance right here. You could be looking to get. Look how it's come back up. Look at this crap. Look at this crap.
Oh yeah, it's coming back up.
You
Yeah,
could
that's
get.
why
You could look at.
you gotta just wait on
Yep.
this.
Yep. So you could see some sort of re-entry on an opportunity like that. Is it JPY or Euro that's moving? It's Euro. It's Euro. Hold on a second.
So
Yep.
what pairs have you covered so far?
I covered DXY, AU, AJ, EU, EJ. I'm just going to cover gold real quick. All right, guys. So gold, again, we always talk about this, very bullish. So this was great. This entry opportunity was super great right here. We saw that it had pushed up. We expected to find support around this monthly, around this 38.2. Plenty of confluence here. And we saw it break this minor structure level, this minor resistance on the 1 hour. Gave us an entry opportunity on a retest right here, right? Broke, retested, MA's held, and then it continued higher. This was a good entry opportunity. And I just see gold going to the 1800 level. There's really nothing else that's stopping it. It's in demand. There's a lot of uncertainty still. As news develops, especially negative news, this is just going to become more in demand. And this 1800 level is really not outside of, it's pretty likely. It's very, very likely that we're going to get to this level, which also lines up with our negative 27 fib level. So this should be good. Keep an eye on gold, guys. Definitely one to be watching lately. It's just so freaking bullish. Like, look at this. This is the daily. Super, super bullish. Breaking new highs. Testing as support after it breaks key resistance. This level here is everything this monthly. Right around 1680. So yeah, looking to make plays to the upside, guys. If you trade gold, make sure you use proper risk management. Please use an app. That app Stinu. Use 1% even on gold, guys. You don't want to get bit because it's so easy to screw yourself. So like, watch. This is 440 pips, right? If you're gonna type it in, this is not 44 pips. This is 440 pips. So you're not gonna be dropping your usual lot size. It's gonna seem much smaller than normal, right? Especially with gold. So just be aware of that. It's all about risk management. But yeah, guys. So just a quick recap. I covered DXY, AU, AJ, EU, EJ, and gold. So any questions, guys, you can always reach out. But I'm going to pass this off to Angelo so he can cover his pairs.
Yeah, and again, that's Nick Dark FX on IG. You know what I'm saying? Go show him some love. You
Good
got
shout out.
something already? Yeah, a little shout out. I just dropped a link to one of the calculators, position size calculators in the chat. You guys should definitely bookmark that. When it comes to trading, the most important part is understanding what is the amount that you want to risk. A lot of people message me, oh, can I, start with a small account? What do I do with a small account? Blah, blah, blah. If you're going to start with a small account, treat my best advice to you based on my experience. And I've obviously made these mistakes myself where I didn't do this. And now this is why I'm recommending you to do this is treat that small account like it's a large account. Treat the small account like it's that 100,000 account, 20,000 account, 10,000 account. And by that, I mean, when you have those accounts that size and you risk 1%, 2%, your wins realistically are like $1,000, $500, $2,000, $5,000. You know what I'm saying? Which are going to satisfy like your greed, realistically. You need to remove the greed, but which will satisfy, your bill, whatever you want. That'll be satisfying when you get those positions, those sizes. But to get there, you have to be able to, it's the skill. So if you can perform well with that small account, risking 1 to 2%, the gains might be 10 cents, $1, $2. But you got to have the vision to say that when I get that larger account, those same positions are going to be scaled up. Everything's going to be scaled up. So yeah, just a little tip. If you're going to start with a small account, risk 2%, you know what I'm saying? Risk 5%, risk whatever. Risk that percentage so that you can continue to work up to that larger account. So let's hop on to my chart.
Yeah, it was JPY news, John. You're right.
Yeah, let's take a look. So UCAD entered a little position yesterday that we were covering inside of the chat or inside of the session yesterday. What's this? Let me get through. So let's take a look at UCAD. Again, we're in the supply zone that we've been talking about, you know, for a couple weeks now. And we were basically looking, we were testing this daily level of resistance. We had broken bullish, but look at this level that I've marked in red. This was definitely a key level of resistance right here that needed to be broken on this daily time frame. So that's why yesterday I was just waiting and I was monitoring this, and I was actually down on the 1 hour. And basically what I saw was I saw a price hike up to this level, formed a little bit of support here, spiked up a little bit, and then we broke below, you know, 1, 2, 3 levels that were respected, broke below there. And I dropped this analysis, I believe, in this premium analysis. So let's see, maybe not. So we were looking at this retest. We pulled back. If we were to fib this, which I don't normally do on this lower time frame, you know, our confluence area was this level. You know, we had the 618 here, which was retested. So definitely some confirmations there. But look at this. We had our first bearish variation. That's cool. You know, I wasn't exactly entering on that. Then we had our second one. So this had 2 confirmations. We had double top, bearish engulfing, you know, definitely good. And then inevitably we had this fall off where we really fell through. That's where I shorted last night at like 12 a.m. That's what I saw, this 1 hour time frame. I shorted like in the middle of this candle. So pretty much this was our entry. We had, I'm going to highlight this. And again, you know, we'll talk about what we're going to do at the moment, but we bump up to this 4 hour time frame. As price was coming into this red zone, I was looking for like some candlestick analysis. Like I was looking, okay, bearish engulfing on the 4 hour, that's major. You know, then again, another bearish engulfing candle here. So that's kind of 2 confirmations for us on that higher time frame. That's when I was bumping down and taking a look at this time frame. Very clean transition. You know, now we're in the order, we're into some profits. You know, our stop loss originally was wide because we had to get above this level, this lower high. So pretty much we are at this point just maintaining this order. You know, I'm not moving stops necessarily to 0 yet. I do see this as having some more room to fall. Like let's bump to the 4 hour. This 4 hour level right here is going to come into play, and this level is gonna be telling as to what we're gonna do. I'm gonna base what I'll do with my stops on this level because we're coming into this level about to be up, you know, 1 to 1, whatever.
So basically this level, you know, presents Angelo with a question. It's like, should I move my stop loss? Depending on how price reacts to this level, he knows that this could be potentially significant for this time frame, right?
Yeah.
So either price is going to fall through it and it has the momentum and it's going to play into a higher time frame because then that higher time frame sentiment comes into play, or he's going to see a bit of, you know, support. It's going to be some reaction from this level to some degree. And whatever happens, he's got a plan to adapt to that market condition.
Right. Whatever happens, exactly like Nick said. I'm going to just wait as price hits this level, and then I'm going to see how it plays off of that. You know, look previously, support, resistance, you know, some consolidation here. So this is definitely going to be a little bit of a play, and we could potentially even get a re-entry at this level, depending how much we consolidate there. So we'll see what happens. So UCAD, obviously, is this by this trade? I was confused by this trade. Yeah, UCAD is very confusing at the moment. But what I will say is I'm basing my structure on the 4 hour. So I'm basing my structure on this low, this lower high, this low. We formed this lower high, and then it broke. as it broke, what I did was I bumped up to the daily to try to like mediate this confusion I had. And on the daily, I clearly saw that this was a daily lower high that was formed. As in, we came down, we were in an uptrend, then all of a sudden we broke below. So we just hit a wall, hit a resistance level. I marked this off. That's my red zone here. My 4 hour was coming into this red zone, so I'm not buying yet. I'm not buying until we clearly closed above on the daily. And then I was monitoring yesterday throughout the day. And then as you saw, these make up that daily candle. Bearish engulfing, boom. A little bit of a retrace. That's what I was waiting. Then another bearish engulfing, boom. Okay. Two bearish engulfings in that red zone, continuing with this overall daily downtrend that's going on, hitting this level of resistance again. So now again, at this point, looking to see how it reacts to this level right now. So that's UCAD. Let's take a look at GU. GU, we're still maintaining this order. I put out this trade earlier in the week. Let's take a look at what is going on now. So let's bump up to the weekly time frame. Obviously, pretty bearish, at the moment. Everything pointing down, everything like that. We're hitting some support here. Inverted cup and handle in the 4 hours. So let's bump down to the daily time frame. We had this push, flag, pushed again. At this point, what I was monitoring, I got my fib on my daily, so that means structure I'm really looking at on the daily time frame. We hit this 618 in confluence with this monthly level resistance, in confluence with this 200-day moving average. So we got some multiple confirmations here. So what I did was I bumped down to the 4 hour. 4 hour, let's keep it, stupid simple, keep it as simple as possible. 4 hour made this higher low, made this high, and then we cycled up to the higher time frame because I saw all these confirmations, these bearish confirmations. And again, like Nick wrote on his chart, monthly bearish, weekly bearish, daily bearish. You know what I'm saying? So even though this 4 hour is bullish, as soon as I hit a nice confluence area on that daily, I'm shifting. I want to go with the overall structure. You know what I'm saying? I'm always thinking about that. That's what I'm thinking about. So as it hits this level and it falls off, a lot of volume comes in. I'm trying to get down to a time frame where I see structure a little bit more clearly because I really understand where I'm at right now. So I bumped down to the 4 hour. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to think through, what is structure on this 1 hour? I mean, this 1 hour time frame, what is structure here? I see this high, I see this higher low. I see this high right here, very minor support level. Then we retest that. So this becomes more significant for me. And then we start to hike up, just staying above the moving averages all the way to this level, break down to retest this level, boom, retest again, boom. And then we start making these lower highs. We start making these lower highs, lower high here. This is where we entered, on this descending triangle. And then now we're maintaining it. Pretty much I'm just chilling on the 1 hour. So I'm just staying on this 1 hour time frame. Earlier this week, we talked about this. This is where we like pretty much the first session of the week we were at. We were at this level. Obviously, we found some resistance here, but then we came back up. We retested. There's really no re-entries at the moment. We're finding some rejection at this level. Ideally now, as I come down to this 30-minute and like kind of see what's going on, we're starting to consolidate within a range. I don't want to draw too many lines on this chart. Like, I'm not going to do this to myself, but realistically, I need price to break below this level now for me really to get short. More aggressively, I could short, limited at this level, like just short it as it comes back into this red zone again. This did form another lower high, so price is depreciating a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to keep GU on the watch list for today. I'm going to move it up and we're going to wait and see what happens. Keep it in orange. That means we're on lower time frames. Wait and see if we can get in on a continuation of this move. So let's go over to NU. Let's take a look yesterday, what we were talking about. This is playing out. This is exactly kind of what we were talking about yesterday is we were being patient with this pair. So let's start up on the weekly time frame. See if we can make it up there. Weekly time frame, last week found a lot of rejection off the weekly level. Now we're finding that again on this weekly level, a lot of rejection. It's still below the moving averages, but let's go to the daily, try to see where we see structure a little bit more clearly. So obviously structure shifted to be, slightly bullish. We really have no, like the daily level of resistance now is up here. That's where we're kind of looking to short out of. At the moment, we're at a level of support. We're at the level of support. So I wasn't going to make any moves unless we confirmed and closed below this weekly support level. So let's go to the 4-hour. This is what I was talking about on the 4-hour time frame. Is 4-hour structure was, we had this level right here as we broke bullish, made this high. We just retested that level again. Yesterday hit us with like some sort of fake out. Like we broke below here. We were waiting to see this candle. This candle closed below, okay, but a lot of exhaustion here. So that's not telling for us that this is ready, like a breakout style entry. Wait for the next candle, bullish engulfing here. So why would you enter short on that at all? So that's why we were looking for the break, retest, and then entry. There's no entry here, no retest, and confirm close. This thing pulled back bullish now at the moment. So pretty much for me personally, I'm really not trying to take any buys on this right now. Like I don't see things that clearly on NU. Like if I were to cycle down to the 30-minute, it has definitely broken bullish, and like we could make a projection that it'll come back into this red zone. But for me, I just like to see things a little bit more clearly. We are forming some lower highs here. Maybe we get some more rejection here. I don't know. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait and see how high this climbs up. So NU is definitely like pushed down on the watch list for now. Let's go to USEF. So USEF actually hit into a nice little trade because we were maintaining this. We've been talking about this for a little while. We got daily time frame. Let's try to make sense as to what the hell is going on right now. Again, daily time frame. Weekly, we're bearish. We're below this 200-day moving average. Daily time frame, we made a new low. Retested this high. I have a supply zone here. You guys that know supply zones, drew it from the wick of this candle to the body of the bearish candle, dragged it across, hit this 100%, hit this 88.6 level, found some rejection there. Now we're retesting that level. So overall, our structure is bearish, but as we get down to the lower time frame, bump to the 4-hour, we still gotta, decide on some moves. So the 4-hour, this is what I was looking at. We had this trend line, point A, point B. This was our point C right here. We were looking based on this. We saw this bearish engulfing earlier in the week, and or I guess that was last week, and we were looking to say, okay, potential short opportunity here. But we were waiting for more confirmation. Didn't get a break below this level. This level, if you look back, was retested here, retested here, retested here and here, retested here. So this was definitely a significant level that needed to be broken on this. Didn't get that. Earlier this week, we opened up, we break, retest, had this 4-hour. These are all entries in here, 30-minute entries based on that 4-hour. Look at this, just trending on the 30-minute. So we didn't enter anything on this, but this was definitely a nice trade idea. Broke bullish on the 4-hour, wait for that first higher low, 38.2. Bullish or Morningstar right here, 2 confirmations, more than enough for us to enter. Projections, hit pretty well. So this was definitely a nice trade idea, but keep in mind now, let's worry about where we're at now. Let me clean up this chart a little bit. Let's take a look as to where we are at the moment. So daily time frame, again, bearish. We're retesting, coming back up into this supply zone, retesting this 88.6 level. So I'm chilling. I'm waiting, and I'm looking really for this to go bearish. Until we get daily closure above this 200-day moving average. I'm not really like bullish on this. I don't have bullish sentiment on this 4-hour time frame. We're waiting. We just hit a lot of resistance off this level, which is telling for us. But we're not gonna make any moves until we see something, similar to this. Look at this fall off. A lot of volume came in. If that volume kicks in, right here, and we see something similar, like this. Oh, I always mess this up. Oh, this is this shitty tool.
That's the bad one. Use bar patterns. One above it.
Bar patterns. So if we see something like this, where we come in, we get like a nice fall off like this, break back into our trend line, stuff like that. Then we'll look for some, some opportunity. So again, not chasing this pair at all. You know what I'm saying? Don't really give a shit. I got some pairs looking out for today. Gonna keep that on the red 4-hour. USD JPY. This pair has been consolidating in this range for fucking ever, and so annoying. So USD JPY daily time frame, obviously bearish, similar to these other pairs. Made this 88.6 hit, came down, little bit of a retracement, finding support at this level. I drew this level just based on daily support. Now, as we go down to the lower time frame, we're not bullish until we break this. Be mindful of that. We're not bullish until we break above here. You know what I'm saying? On this daily. So on this 4-hour, let's take a look. 4-hour time frame, we're just bouncing in this range forever. We keep bouncing in this range. For you intraday traders, honestly, great opportunities in this. You know what I'm saying? Short at the high, buy at the low. For you guys that love doing that, definitely a nice. This is like textbook for you guys to just make money intraday. But for me, I don't really give a shit about doing that because it's not my style. So I'm waiting for either a break above here and a retest, or a break below here and a retest. Very simple, keeping it very simple. So we're just waiting on UJ. Once it breaks out, this thing's gonna run. You know what I'm saying? So we're definitely, it's building volume right now. Building volume.
Heavy consolidation.
Yes.
Heavy consolidation.
Yes, heavy consolidation. So we are waiting for the breakout, and then once that goes down, you know what I'm saying, we'll take advantage. Let's look at GJ. Look at GJ real quick. Yesterday, so let's go daily, weekly time frame. This presented a nice opportunity. We had multiple confirmations, resistance level, moving averages, you know what I'm saying? Then we got some, little bit of a like a doji or spinning top here. Nothing too crazy, but at the same time showing some reversals. So we got multiple confirmations on the weekly down to the daily. This is where I have my overall fib, bearish, 50% level, not the best level, you know what I'm saying? But we did find some volume off of this level at this point. So let's continue to cycle down. Let's see things a little bit more clearly. This 4-hour definitely started the transition bearish, broke this level yesterday or 2 days ago. We broke this level, which was major level, had this bearish engulfing, another bearish variation here. So pretty much I'm playing this on this 4-hour. Ideally, I drew this yesterday. I want this to hit 618, multiple confirmations there. But another idea would be if we just break below this level again, I'll short this thing right away. Like I'll be more than happy to go short this thing at that level. So yeah, again, GJ sitting on the 4-hour. So if you look at my watch list, all the ones in red are 4-hour. The ones in orange are, ones that I'm on the lower time frame getting ready for entries. And the one in blue or purple, whatever, is the order that I'm in right now. Went over UCAD, GU, NZD USD, USD CHF, USD JPY, and GBP JPY. So yeah, that's pretty much the extension of this for this live trading session. We'll post some analysis today for you members in the chat, keep you updated. Obviously went over a ton. Nick went over a ton.
Yeah, we did a lot. We covered some trade examples, potential, scouting for some potential trades, any pairs that we covered, forecast for the week. We covered a lot. This was a good session for sure.
Yeah, definitely a good session. You guys that stayed on the entire time, much appreciated. For you guys, obviously, again, mentioned at the beginning, We do have the sale going on right now. You know what I'm saying? 4 spots are left, 40% off. So if you guys are interested in that, message me. And then, you know, any other questions on getting involved in the community or anything like that, shoot us a message. You know, obviously we have a lot of free stuff, Instagram, everything like that, YouTube. You know, this will be posted on our YouTube after this. So keep up. Let me turn this off. So just stay ready, you know what I'm saying? Stay ready. And we're more than happy to be here, support you guys and everything like that. You know, stay safe with Corona. Obviously,
Absolutely.
this is our last trading session of the week. This weekend, we're thinking about potentially doing, you know, some sort of webinar or something for you guys. I mean, we'll see what day is it. It's getting later in the month, you know, so maybe we'll just, you know, drop some previous webinars for you guys to look at. But yeah, obviously, you know, happy that you guys are on the team, and yeah, hope you guys have a good day. We'll catch you later.
So we'll see you guys in there. Peace. Have a good one.
Hell yeah.